so excited to get a chance to talk to all of you today. I'm like bursting with energy because this is one of my absolute favorite topics. Mentorship is so important. I think everyone in this room can think of someone in their life who took the time to talk to them, who took the time to explain how to solve a problem or how to deal with an issue. And I think that's extremely important for young people to have. I, first of all, just want to thank all of you who agreed to be mentors. I think there's over 150 of you in this room who have already agreed to be mentors, and I hope that all of you, after hearing my talk, will be inspired to go out and teach a young person some knowledge that you might have. I know that over the course of my career and my life so far, I mean, I'm 21, but I've been working in the fashion industry for about 7 years. I've had some really, really incredible mentors who have gone absolutely above and beyond to help me in my career or to sort of give me some guiding advice. My very first mentor was when I was 14, and it was my fashion teacher at school. And I was just learning how to sew, and I was not very good at it, but I think that she recognized my passion for sewing, for design, and I remember going to go talk to her and saying, you know, I love fashion, but I'm just not really sure if I'm very good at it. And I remember her saying, you are fantastic at it, even though your sewing skills are not very good, and even though your sketches are kind of awful, you have a passion for it, and so if you continue to work at it, I think that you can do some amazing things. And she was really tough on me. She always was really hard, but she sort of set that spark in me to go out and achieve my dreams, to start a fashion business, even though I was only 14 years old. And so I think that the first tip that I'm going to give you guys is to light that spark for a young person. You know, think about what the person is good at and sort of guide them into a career path or something that will take advantage of that spark. Another one of my fantastic mentors was my business teacher, Miss Kane. Miss Kane was the one who taught me all the practical skills, which is my next sort of big tip. She's the one who sat me down and talked to me about writing a business plan and keeping track of my inventory and my 30-second pitch and all of that type of stuff. And I think that sometimes as we get older, we sort of forget about all the little details that we needed to learn. And so even something as simple as like learning how to write a receipt, people don't know that when they're first starting out. And so that's really important to teach young people those practical skills. And I also work with this really fantastic organization, which is the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship. And some of my fantastic mentors through that program, they sort of, what I liked about them was that they didn't give me a handout. I grew up pretty poor, and my family was even homeless a lot of the time, and I think that's what inspired me to start my business. But rather than just giving me money or giving me something, Nifty was the one who taught me, you can start a business, you can be successful, and you can make your own money, and this is the tools to do it. So I think another part of being a mentor is teaching the person who you're mentoring how to do things for themselves. I think it's easier to just go ahead and do it for them, but teaching them how to do it for themselves is really important. Another sort of set of fantastic mentors, probably my most dedicated mentor, was Deborah Quazzo and Larry Levy. When I was going through the college process a couple of years ago, I had no idea about schools. You know, my mom's a single mother, and she was a social worker, and so I didn't really know how to go about the college process. I was an only child. And I remember Deborah Quazzo, she actually took me on college visits. So she went with me to all the schools, and she helped me fill out my college applications. And she just sort of opened my mind to this like broader universe that I could get into. And I think that was extremely important because I didn't think about going to a university, certainly not. Like I was maybe thinking of going to an art school, but I wasn't really sure. And she was the one who really pushed me to think outside the box. Some other of my fantastic mentors was Jimmy Bailey, who was a former politician. And he sort of caught me in a time in my life where I was starting to get more into giving back to the community. And so he sort of pushed me out of my comfort zone, and that's another big thing that I think is really important, making sure that you sort of teach them a set of skills that they didn't already have. And so I was really focused on fashion and business, but Jimmy Bailey was like, no, you can start to get into politics, work towards enacting change. And so he was the one who led me toward working with President Obama, working with President Clinton, traveling all over the world and getting to talk about the power of entrepreneurship and the importance of education. And then I also think that it's kind of important that not all of the mentors need to be these like huge, over-the-top, really extravagant relationships. They can also just be little tiny things. Like some of my favorite sort of smaller mentors were Ashley and Danielle, who worked with me when I was working at American Eagle. And they were only a couple years older than me, I think like 2 or 3 years older than me, but they were already established designers. And they let me see their portfolio and they let me shadow them for a day. And I think that that can be another really effective method of teaching a young person how to go about starting up a business. And then lastly, probably my most well-known mentor is Tyra Banks. And my last sort of bit of advice is use your specific resources. So Tyra Banks got a hold of me and she said that she wanted to mentor me. And what she did was she actually modeled the clothes that I was making and she introduced me to fashion designers and she took me to fashion shows and things like that. And so every sort of industry has different resources that are available to them, and if you tap into the individual skill set that you have, I think that that can be really effective. But the best thing to remember is that a really effective mentor is someone who knows more than you do and who also cares about you. There are a lot of people who care about you, like maybe your family, maybe your parents, maybe your friends, but they aren't necessarily good mentors because maybe they don't know more than you do about your specific career. And then there's people who know more than you do, but maybe don't necessarily care about the future of your success. And so tapping into both of those will really ensure that your relationship is lifelong and that you can really make a huge impact on the person who you're mentoring. So please go out and mentor young people, and I'm sure that they will be eternally grateful for it. Thank you.